So hopefully by the end of this short hour, we're going to understand the benefits of open, which is the options process to ensure integrity, understand the process for renewing or exercising options, and the goal that our commissioner, Stephen Kempf, gave to us, which is to get to the point where we are renewing options 60 days prior to their expiration. Now, this is not a goal that we've put on a performance measure and said you're going to get paid a bonus if you do this. This is not something that's, come out and said, this is the commissioner challenging us to come up with a process to do things more effectively by streamlining things. So Open rolled out September 24th, 2011. I know the day very well. And it is literally a 250-day process. Sounds very streamlined, doesn't it? But it is actually a streamlined process. Because it's a 250-day process, it would affect those contracts that expire in June 2012. Those are the very first contracts when we call, in my office, the project manager who's in charge of it, paper or plastic. Okay, those first contracts that are fully open, June 2012. And we did the first metrics to see what happened, and I'll explain the process to you later. What we found is that the contracting officers and contracting specialists who dealt with those contracts that expired June 2012 were able to experience a 62% improvement over last year when this process wasn't in place. That means the number of contracts that were awarded 60 days prior to expiration was 62% greater than last year. And the workload was higher this year, not surprisingly, right? Because our workload is just exponentially growing. Okay, so this is what we had to work with. When Steve Kempf first threw this at us, okay, he was actually the Assistant Commissioner for Acquisition Management, okay, and he said, could you approve this process because it's, not good, and why, so let's talk about it. So we got a bunch of contracting specialists and contracting officers from around the country working on the multiple award schedules program from all different aspects, whether or not they worked on the AIMS or they worked on MOBIS or IT schedule, you name it, products, services, you name it. We threw them in a room together for about a week, plus we took a bunch of documents that they used internally, externally, whether or not they gave them to industry, whether or not they used them to document their own files, what were the criteria that they were using as process, not as policy, because there's only one policy. And it covered 3 walls in a huge conference room. Okay, so this is where we started. And we had to decide what is not an option time, okay? Options should not be the time for us to carry out, for you industry partners, to carry out routine contract administration. Options should not be a time to renegotiate the contracts. I know it's what we do, it's what you do, but it's not really what it's meant to be. It should not be a time to do bilateral modifications, which is actually what the first 2 are about. And it should not be a time to submit unnecessary paperwork. Why do you think that Commissioner Kempf, then Assistant Commissioner Kempf, threw out this? Because we have industry and we have contractors, customers in here. Why do you think, what was the burning platform for this? All right, never mind. I'll tell you. Hint. If we have a contract, you have a contract out there, and you're doing work for the Department of Justice, Department of Interior, and the contract is coming for expiration, and Interior wants to place a task order against it, or let's say a BPA against it, but it's coming to its end, how comfortable is that contracting officer over at our customer placing an order against it? Are you going to have a contract next week? Aren't you going to have a contract, right? Exactly. What's the pricing going to look like? Is the pricing fair and reasonable? What's it going to, right? They want to know continuity of coverage. And I'm thinking as an industry partner, you kind of want continuity of coverage, right? So the major underlying burning platform here is continuity of coverage on behalf of the people that we serve, which from a GSA perspective is our customer, right? We are the pipeline between the industry partner and the customer, and our job is to do contract award, contract administration in order to remain that pipeline. So the challenge that the commissioner set out was how do we do that more effectively? It's not that the contracting officers were saying, I don't want to do this. I got up this morning and I decided I'm not going to work today. But we do, on average, 5,000 modifications a month. Yeah. Across them, I'm talking just multiple award schedules. Never mind GWACs, never mind any of the other programs. 5,000 additions, deletions, administrative, pricing, terms and conditions. These guys are busy. So it's not a matter of saying, please do it faster, please do it better. It's like, please do it how? Right? Please do it how? So he challenged FAS to find a way to help them do it how to do it better, how to find a way within the workforce to meet the FAR, to meet the GSAR, but a process that would allow us to meet the customer's needs. Okay? So just stepping back to what the burning platform was. Okay? And why we're doing this.